Got it. Awesome. So let's get right into it. Now, I think when it comes to the issue of wealth creation, and there's a lot of unlearning that has to happen, because we're not brought up in a way that promotes wealth creation. I once met a guy. This guy's got a PhD in law, and this guy, told me a lot about what they do, to create wealth and so forth. This guy is in partnership with 10 other guys, and there's a lot of stuff that they do. They buy lots and lots of properties. But then, in our conversations, this guy says, you know what, there are cultures, when I say cultures, don't think South Africa, think worldwide, think globally. He says there are cultures that promote wealth creation, and there are cultures that do not promote wealth creation. Okay? Now I want us to think about that. Okay? So you can then, put yourself, the way you've been brought up, because culture is not necessarily the following of certain rituals or anything like that. It's basically the norms and systems that are present in a particular, cultural setting, how things are done, certain beliefs, systems, and all of that. That's what it's actually referring to. So this guy says there are cultures that promote wealth creation, but there are cultures that do not promote wealth creation. So now, knowing for myself where I come from, there was nothing of the sort that necessarily promoted wealth creation. I was thinking about it today, the fact that, what it actually took for me to get out of that mindset, and to, when I look back, it's quite a huge gap, it's quite a huge gap. So as a result, I think, people around in my family, they would have been fine with me going to work at wherever, as a blue collar worker. I could have gone and worked at a factory, and build cars, whatever the case is. There was not going to be anything around me that says, no, man, you can do better than that. Okay? There was no one, nothing, and no one that was going to say to me. But it actually came from within me, just this belief that, I think I can do more, and the more I do is the more I think that I can do more. Okay? So that's one. And then the second thing is, when we joining a business, starting a business is one thing. But okay, with new people, let's try and mute. So if I did mute you, please do not unmute yourself. Okay. So if I look back, there's quite a huge gap. There's something I want to show you. I'm not sure if I should show you or not. I've never showed this to anyone, and okay, but never mind. But I mean, that's the kind of environment I actually grew up in. Now you ask yourself, why do people start things and they never succeed? Why do people start businesses and they never succeed? Why do people set goals and they never achieve those goals? Okay. It's got to do with a lot what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So the issue of joining a business or starting a business or anything of the sort, one needs to be, cognizant of the fact that, wealth is manifested, in fact, very interesting question would be, what is wealth? I'm not sure if there's anyone who can give us, what do you think wealth is? Anyone, you can type on the comment section. Let's see if we're thinking along the same lines. What do you think wealth is? Anyone? Okay. So, all right. But whatever your thoughts, you'll just type on the comment section. We'll deal with it later. Okay. Now, I was listening to a guy called what's his name? This tall guy with a very, very strong voice, Tony Robbins. Okay. I was listening to Tony Robbins. Okay. Pela says wealth is ubutsheli. Now, someone else, wealth is being able to afford whatever or anything you want. Okay. Someone else. So now, as I was listening to Tony Robbins, now Tony Robbins is a world-known mind coach, wellness coach, wealth creation coach. He's one of the world-renowned speakers. Okay, this is a guy who once made 400 million in one day. 400 million in one day. Okay, that's Tony Robbins. So now this guy says, when it comes to wealth creation, it's always the 80-20 rule applies, okay? Which is what we're going to talk about. That 80-20 rule applies. Wealth is your time and your freedom. That's mercy. To have abundance of everything you need. Being able to survive without any income. It's money that you... it's money that can sustain you for a certain time without you working. Okay. So now this is how they define wealth. So if I look at my okay. So if you look at the amount of money that you are earning right now, the lifestyle that you have right now, okay? The question is, if you stop doing what you're doing, if there's something that you're doing for you to make money or to earn an income, if you have to stop doing what you're doing, how long can you live on the same lifestyle without compromising anything, without stopping anything? And I said, still being afford to go to the gym, to eat healthy, to drive a certain car, to go on holidays. If you go on holidays, once a year, So that is wealth. It's how long you can sustain a certain chosen lifestyle without you having to lift a finger. Okay? So, sorry about that. So that is wealth. Okay? So now, let's talk about this 80-20 rule. A lot of people know... I'm not sure if that is me. So a lot of people know about the 80-20 rule, but only from movies that actually talk about trying to mute. I'm not sure who was that. Mr. Novugela, why can't I mute you? Okay. So a lot of people who know about the 80-20 rule actually know about it from the movies, Tyler Perry and stuff like that, and the fact that you can only get 80% from a person and stuff like that. But where the 80-20 rule actually comes from, it's called the Pareto principle. It was discovered by an Italian economist in the late 1800s. Okay. Where this guy talks about the fact that 80% of what you do does not necessarily generate your income, but it's 20% of what you do. Okay. Now Tony Robbins puts it this way: when it comes to wealth creation, the 80-20 rule actually applies. So in other words, for you to be able to create wealth, one, it's actually 80% your mindset. It's what is happening inside. Okay, we're going to talk about that just now. And then 20% will be the mechanics. What are the mechanics? Mechanics would be, okay, I want to make money. Let me go and buy a McDonald's franchise. Okay, or I want to make money. Let me start a clothing brand. Let me start this business or that business. So that's, or if you're in network marketing, let me sponsor a lot of people. You understand? So the 20% is the mechanics whereas the 80% is the psychology. Okay, so now you can work as hard as you want when it comes to the 20%. You can be, when it comes to in network marketing, we talk about the 7 skills. You can know all 7 skills and be proficient in all 7 skills. But if the 80% is actually lagging behind, the 80% is what's actually going to cause you to actually lose out. You understand? Whatever you can accomplish, you'll find that you won't be able to sustain. And or even if you can sustain, you're not going to actually go to the top of the top. It's impossible unless you work on your 80%. Now, I've got an example here. There's a subject we did in varsity, and this subject, you study throughout the year, you write tests, but there was one assignment. The assignment was, the weighting of the assignment was 20%, was 80%, and everything else you do was 20%. So now, a friend of mine, at the time, we had the floppy disk. I'm not sure how many of you remember the floppy disk. A friend of mine, we done with the assignment, we were printing it, we're supposed to submit at 12, okay? When we come to printing, this guy formatted the floppy disk, and the whole thing was actually erased. He had to go and start from scratch. Guess what happened? He actually failed the subject. Why? Because he failed the assignment. So that's how important is the 80-20, principle. So now, so in the 20%, what do we actually talk about? Okay. Now, this is something that we can talk about for years to come. In fact, we can never stop talking about it. You can never stop learning. You can never stop growing and developing when it comes to the 80%. It's something that one is going to have to keep on, focusing on. As long as you still want to grow, as long as you still want to, go forward. And in life, I've learned one thing. There is no straight line, right? It's either you are growing or you are dying. The minute you find yourself in a straight line, the death process has actually started, but you're not seeing it yet. It might not have manifested it yet, but it has actually started, So one has to keep on constantly grow, because the minute there is no line where you can say, okay, now I'm just simply flowing, So one has to keep on growing. So now, when it comes to the psychology, we're talking about your mindset, okay? Now, when we're talking about mindset, there's so many things we can talk about. Your belief, okay? Now, I spoke about this the other day that, there are things that are called mind hacks, There are things that are called mind hacks. So you've got to be able to know how to hack your mind, okay? You've got to be able to know how to work on your belief, okay? Now, action is a product of belief, okay? And then belief is a product of decision, okay? It's like a triangle. So one has to make a decision. What is it that you actually want to achieve? Forget about how you're going to get there. Forget about, what are the obstacles, In this book, they talk about definiteness of purpose, okay? Now, all achievement in the world, all achievement, no exception whatsoever, begins with the desire, okay? So you have to build a strong and a very powerful desire for the life that you want to see, okay? Now, once you have this desire, and it's something that actually is constantly evolving, it does not remain static, because this triangle actually keeps on going like that. I'm not sure if, I don't know how to use this thing and actually draw on it, okay? But if I can just put it this way, so it's like this, okay? It starts with the desire, okay? That's the desire. And then from here, you have your belief. And then here, you have your action, okay? So your desire must be strong enough to cause you to believe, okay? And your belief must be strong enough to cause you to act, Okay, it's like there is no disconnect between the two. You want to know, you want to know what a person believes. Look at how they act. You know, not what they say. You know, I can say to you, I believe this and that and that and that, but if my actions are the ones who are actually going to speak to my belief. Okay, so now as I believe, it's going to cause me to act. Now, as I act, it's going to cause me to realize my desire. And as I realize my desire actually grows, and it causes me to believe even more. You know, that is why we're saying that, you know, whenever you set goals and, you know, there are certain things you want to achieve, you celebrate every little small win. You know, every little small win you celebrate. By doing that, you are activating what is called the law of gratitude. You know, and so this is how it works. Okay, so one, you have to have a strong desire. What is it that you want to achieve? Forget about who you are, you know, for a minute, you know, even though that's important, but forget about who you are and the people around you. Has anyone in your family, you know, ever achieved anything that you want to achieve? You know, has anyone in your area being able to achieve what you're saying that you want to achieve? Forget about all of that, you know, and forget about the fact that you can achieve it or you can't achieve it. You know, forget about any people are afraid of disappointment. You know, if imagination is free, you might as well imagine, you know, as much as you can, because everything in this world actually comes from imagination. You know, I once read something that says, you know, as human beings, there is one power that makes us godlike. And that power is the power to imagine in our mind and see a certain world, you know. And when I say a certain world, I'm talking about a certain life that you want to live, your world, okay? You have the desire to actually imagine this world, you know. And as you imagine this world, you know, you've got the ability to actually, you know, create this world into manifestation, okay? Now, a lot of us get stuck in the issue of being afraid of you know, setting yourself up for failure or disappointing yourself, okay, or you know, or stuff like that. You know, for me, I'm not afraid of saying this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to do. Whether I get to it or not, that's neither here nor there, you know, but it's a matter of it's there, you know. And will I ever get there or not? It's going to depend on how well I'm actually going to understand and work on these other things, which we're going to talk about just now, okay? So what we talked about so far is you've got to have a strong desire, okay? And even, see, the things around us might not necessarily encourage you to actually desire a certain lifestyle, okay? Now, you've got to take yourself out of situations like that and actually, you know, put yourself in a situation where you are actually desiring something that is different, okay? Now, I said I was not sure if I was going to show you this, so maybe let me show you this, just for interest's sake, né? For interest's sake. Are you guys ready? Can you see this? Can you guys see this? Okay, sure. Now, so this is my home. I talk about this house quite a lot, né? This is it. Okay, so this is where I grew up. Okay, let me show you another one. Okay. Now, remember I told you about the windows that are made of pine that it will keep on breaking. You know, you can see there's one. That's not a glass. There's two. That's not a glass. There's three. That's not a glass. Okay. And in here, my grandmother used to sell all kinds of stuff. Okay. And the last one. So this was my little posy. Okay. So this This was my little posy. You can see there's the toilet. So this is where I grew up, guys. So this is the door I told you about that we actually had to lift it out. Okay. You can see even that window there. Ne? Right. Now, coming back to what I was saying. Okay. Now, around us, you'll find that there are so many things that do not encourage us to actually, actually believe. Okay. NU9, yeah, that's NU9. Okay. So there can be so many things around you that do not encourage you to actually believe, but you have to find yourself, you have to find a way of getting out of the situation. Let me tell you what I did, okay? Now, I went to technical college from that house. I was staying there when I was in technical college. And what I did was, I had a friend who stayed in Central. And, sometimes I would go there, sometimes over the weekend. Sometimes I would even spend the weekend there. And guess what I did? Every time I went to this guy, we would always go to the shop, and there was these newspapers that only shows properties for sale. And you also get maybe a small booklet with cars for sale. Okay. Now I would always take that book every time without fail, and I would immerse myself and look at those houses and begin to imagine. Okay. I would begin to imagine that, okay, I like this particular house. I would love to stay in this particular house. Why? I was busy working on my imagination. I was busy working on my desire. Okay. And not only did I do that, you ask anyone that I was in college with, they will tell you that I was always a dreamer. I was always telling people, you know what, I'm going to live in this type of house. I'm going to stay in this type of neighborhood and stuff like that, In fact, even when I was there, I didn't even know, all the neighborhoods in PE and stuff like that. But I always worked on my imagination and my desire, okay? Because that's like your engine, You're not going to go anywhere that you've never... See, success is never accidental. You cannot wake up tomorrow and you're a millionaire. Yet you've never been there in your mind, okay? If you've never been there in your mind, there's no way it's going to happen. And if it does happen, guess what's going to happen? There's something that is called cybernetics, okay? If you look at a plane, when a plane takes off, don't think that the pilot is there, doing this like it's a car. No, that thing is on autopilot, okay? And as it's on autopilot, there's already a predetermined route it's actually going to take, okay? Now, if it happens that there is a turbulence or there is winds and the plane is sort of like veering off the path that was actually chosen for it, cybernetics will actually automatically push the plane back to the original path, okay? Now, so how does that apply to people? You give someone right now, you also the program saying, I blew it, okay? You give someone 1 million rand, 2 million rand, 5 million rand, and, they act all big, they have arrived. Guess what's going to happen? Within a matter of 3, 4, 5 years, they would have lost everything. And they will either be back to their original position, or they will be far better off, or they will be far worse. Okay? Why? Because anything that does not emanate, from that place of desire and go through the actual process of wealth creation, it's going to be short-lived. Okay? We can do an interesting, scenario, and look at, most of you are aware of our previous company. Look at people who have made money there. And you look at people, how many still have that kind of money, why? Cybernetics, they will always work against you, That is why, even if a guy who is rich, something happens, some misfortune, this guy loses everything and he starts from zero. Guess what's going to happen? Within no time, cybernetics will put him back into position, and you'll find this guy, all of a sudden, within no time, he's back to his original position. Why? It's cybernetics. Okay. So the second thing we want to talk about is your mindset. Okay. Now, the mindset is just simply the attitude of the mind. Okay, which is something that, again, one has to work on every single day. You know, it's not something that you, this has to do with how you view life. It has to do, Bob Proctor talks about, you know, the six, it's not principles, what's the word I'm looking for? The six faculties that we as human beings have. Okay, someone, cybernetics and paradigms, awesome. Okay, so we have to work on our mindset, right? We have to have a mindset that says I can and I will. You know, because here's the thing: a lot of people think that people who have success in this business, you know, it's because they are eloquent in how they present the business. They know about blockchain. They know about this and that. That's not entirely true. When a person speaks from a point of conviction that, you know what, being in Bitcoin is the best thing that has ever happened to me, you understand? And if a person fully believes that and they speak from conviction, they might mince the words up, you know, they might not say everything, you know, but people will actually get the energy from this person and they want to be involved in whatever this person is doing, whether they understand it or not. Why? It's because of, you know, that person's mindset and energy. Okay, so this is something that, you know, we're gonna have to actually work on. So we talk about mindset, we talk about attitude towards yourself, you know, because see, if we're gonna talk about belief, there is believing in the business. You know, you can rate yourself between 1 and 10. What's your what's your belief on the business? You know, again, remember, action is a product of belief, right? So if you're saying, yes, I believe 100% in the business, yes, you know, awesome. But then, are your actions speaking to what you are saying? Are you with me? Okay. The other thing, which is a product or inaction is a product of, is actually a matter of procrastination, and procrastination is also a product of lack of self-belief, lack of self-esteem. Okay, so one, you have to believe in the business. 2, you have to believe in yourself. Okay, 3, you have to believe in the product. When you are talking and you're presenting to me the opportunity, those 3 things I can pick up. People do pick up those things, believe you me. You know, if you're not sure, you're like, Bitcoin, it has worked for so and so and so and so. I think now it's gonna work for me. And I said, but if you are not convinced of what you're saying, the next person will actually pick it up. Human beings, you know, are very interesting beings because we can pick up energies. You know, when we tone it down, we can say that's body language. And I said, it's actually beyond body language. It's basically, you know, human beings having this ability to actually pick up energies. Okay, so and then we get to paradigm. Okay, so your attitude. Okay, maybe we'll summarize this, you know, in a short while. This guy is still busy praying. Okay, fine. So so now the paradigm issue is basically, you know, the main thing. Okay, now when we talk about paradigm, we actually talk about beliefs that are embedded in us. If you take a child that is 2 years old, you know, and every time they hear, no, don't do this, and I said, no, you're gonna do this, and I said, now, and then they get into school. You know, in schooling, again, they hear a lot of no's. They hear a lot of no's. You can't do this. You can't do that. You understand? Now, and then they get into teenagers. You know, and all they hear is no. You can't do this. You can't do this. So now there is a programming that is happening subconsciously within this person. You know, Les Brown says, for every one no, you actually need 150 yeses to actually nullify the effect on the subconscious mind of a person. Did you get that? So Les Brown says, for every one no, you need 150 yeses to try and nullify the effect of that no on the subconscious mind. Now, a kid, how many times do they hear no? You can't do this. Don't do that. What does it say? You know? So all of that actually gets embedded in their subconscious mind. So now, actually, I wanted Neo to talk about this. So now what you have, you've got your conscious mind where you make decision there, you think there, you know what, I think this year I'm going to lose so many kilograms. You know what, this year I want to build muscles. This year I want to earn $100,000. I want to earn, all those decisions are happening within the conscious mind. Okay, but then you've got the subconscious mind that's like the engine behind everything. So everything that you've decided here, the subconscious mind actually has absolute control. It's not the conscious mind. So you can decide, you can think and write it down. You know what, I want to achieve this and that and that and that. But then what's going to happen? The subconscious mind says, no, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? In a sense, based on the programming that has been happening over the last few years. So that is why we then have to learn how to reprogram our own subconscious mind. The one key word that is important for you to reprogram your subconscious mind is repetition. Repetition of information, repetition of conversations, and the more you do that is the more then you are changing your program. It's like a computer. If this computer does not have CAD, computer-aided drafting, there is no way on earth it can open a file that was actually saved by computer-aided drafting. You understand? Because even though the computer is well capable, but it does not have the programming that allows it to open that program. So it's the same thing that happens within us. Okay? So now we then have to, reprogram ourselves. And the way we do that is by repetition. Repetition, okay? And then we talk about, guys, he's back. Oh, hallelujah. So each and every one of these things that we're talking about here, we could spend an hour talking on each and every one, okay? But we don't have, the luxury of time right now. But maybe this is thing that we can have all these conversations on, maybe the next time people will go and do their homework, do and read up a little bit, and then we can come and have a conversation, what we have learned about all of these things going forward. Fine. So then we have the law of attraction. Now, a lot of people place a lot of emphasis on the law of attraction. Yes, it is true. I also believe in the law of attraction. But what I discovered is that the law of attraction is actually, a secondary. The primary law is the law of vibration. In other words, I can go to Mercedes-Benz as much as I want, okay? I can go to Lovemore Heights, Warmer Heights as much as I want, But if I am not in harmonious vibration, with that which I desire, it's actually not going to happen. It's actually not going to manifest, So one needs to then have, operate on a certain consciousness, that is in harmonious vibration with exactly the thing that you want. Okay. Right. So anything that I'm leaving out before I hand over to Nell? We've got basically 20 minutes. So let me hear any thoughts on what I've said. Any questions, you can type on the comment section. Mr. Chika is here. Now, Mr. Chika is going to talk about how do we get started right. This is especially true for, for new people. One person wrote on Facebook, I'm not sure who, about the fact that network marketing is so forgiving, that you could be in network marketing for 3 years or for 5 years, but still, not, do it to the best of your ability. Okay, but it's so forgiving that you can decide at any day that, you know what, this is the day I'm taking my business, seriously. This is the day I actually, you can make that mental switch. You can make that attitude switch, which then change the course of your business going forward. Okay. So now, for me, guys, there's a lot I can tell you on the law of attraction and how this has actually worked for me, over the last few years. I used to tell the story. So maybe before I give to Neo, let me tell you this. Now, I was in real estate from 2010, and then in 2012, I was staying in Kwatwesi. I was renting a house, Kwatwesi. And, what we do, after church, we'll drive to places like Lovemore Park and Lovemore Heights, okay? And what we'll do is, we'll drive around. There's a spot, not too far from where I stay right now, where we used to park. I was still driving my 2009 VW Polo, all branded and stuff like that. So, and we'll be there, stay there, eat our KFC, and, and we'll drive. And I remember, this particular estate I'm staying on, as we were driving out, I would ask myself, I wonder what kind of people actually stay in this estate, Why? Because it looked a certain way, and you would never even see a for sale sign outside, And so I would ask myself, I wonder what kind of, because there's a road like behind, and we'd drive and would ask myself, I wonder what kind of people stay here. How much money must you earn to stay in this kind of estate, This was in 2012, guys. And I would say to the people that, one day, whether I believed it that time or not, I don't think I did believe it, to be honest, but that's what I said. And guess what? I'm staying in the very same estate. I'm staying in the very same suburb. And I actually even forgot about this. I was reminded, by folks in the family that, what this was actually used to say. I was like, wow, that's true, So this is how these things work. Ask Neo, he will tell you a story how he actually got to own, a Mercedes Benz. Also the same story. I can tell you about my vehicle, what happened. The first time I took a selfie, it was in 2016. And I put it on Instagram. And, I was outside a Land Rover dealership in East London. And I took a selfie. It was at night. And I said, I am coming for you, And that was 2016. And about 18 months, a couple of months down the line, about 18 months or so, I bought the very same car. Of course, the latest model, So these things work. But you have to marry your action, with the 80%. The 80% is what we just talked about. It's belief, it's action, it's desire, it's your mindset, it's your attitude, It's you reprogramming your paradigm, It's you making the law of attraction work for you, It's you understanding the law of vibration. And it's you being grateful for things that you don't even have right now, but you know that they're actually going to come in your life. Okay? So that's the law of gratitude. So right now, if there's no question on the comment section, I'm going to hand over to Uneo. Let me stop my screen share and look for Neo. There he is.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Fantastic stuff. Thank you very, very much for that. Very powerful insight there shared. And yeah, just before I move on, so what I'm going to cover, if you will, for the next maybe 10 minutes, is how to get started right. But before I do so, I just want to agree with a lot of what Lonabo said. I'm currently running a 21-day challenge for that's what the team decided. Let's do a 21-day challenge where we are going to particularly work on habits. How do we change and restructure habits. We identified certain things that successful people have successful habits. Failing people have failing habits. And so if you look at the results over your life, you look at the kind of results you have, and you ask yourself, are you happy with it? And you'll normally find that it took certain habits, whether you liked it or not, it took certain habits to actually, get you to whatever result you have. And so to move from where you are to where you want to be, it will also take certain habits. This is why they say that success is not about what you get, but it's about who you become. Because who you become, or who you are in essence, sorry about that. Cool. Who you are in essence is your habits. And so as a consequence, you'll find that many of us, we want to change our actions, we want to change our results, but we do not know how to change our habits. And so we went on a 21-day journey with the team. And I went to the group and I put up, look guys, I have a 21-day challenge group that I'm going to put up. It's not necessarily going to focus on growing your business, but it's going to focus more on changing your habits. And on one of the people who actually wanted to go into the group was a lady, an elderly lady in my team. I pick her out specifically because I remember her as one person who was always complaining. We have that one of the people who always complains, like, guys, let's do this. Always complaining, But she's always one of the people who put up her hands first. And so she put up her hand and said, look, I want to be in that group. I want to change my habits. She struggled to read a book. Like she struggled. She told me that now I hate reading. So whatever book I tried to give her, she never read. Okay, so I got it. So we got into this 21-day challenge, and I think now on the fifth day of the challenge, she is so excited. She's so excited because within the first day, she can start to see certain habits changing. Now, guess what? Because of the person that she's now becoming, she's getting much more activity in her business. When she posts on Facebook now about her business, the last time I checked, she had over 20 responses to a business post that she had placed. And I think that is, because of the person that she is now, I remember when I used to speak to Lonabo and I said, Lonabo used to say, guys, just use Facebook to grow your business. If you're gonna just copy what I say and just post it on my wall. And many of us, would do that. You'd find that, he has about 15 to 20 comments on his wall, and you're struggling to get 5 likes with the same statement. And it's because, and I think when I look at it now, it's because when he's posting that message, where is he? Where is he on his mental level, on his emotional and spiritual level? Where is he? And so when you begin to operate in this business from a different place, I was speaking to one of the ladies this morning in my team. She says that, now when I started doing this business from a different place, I started seeing results. When I stopped looking for people to join my business, but I started looking for people who I can share value with, that's when things started to change, right? She's in the same business, but now she operates from a different place. That now I'm not looking for people to recruit, to push me up, to push my income up. No, but I'm looking for people who I'm going to add value to. And she's one of the people in the team, whoever that she brings into the team, she adds a lot of value to them. She adds a lot of value. They want to stick close to her. They love her energy. And it's because of the person. Now, I know the same lady about 6 months ago. She was not like that until I introduced her to personal development. I introduced her to what Lonabo has been sharing about, and her life has been changing just like that. She says, no, I can't recognize myself. Now, look, she has not made the millions yet, but she's so excited about life. She's so excited about her business. She operates a business now in a different way. Same like this lady. She's so excited. I got off yesterday. I think it was about 8 o'clock. She's like, no, I've already done 4 video calls today. And I'm like, you never done a video call before talking to someone about the business? She said, no, it just happened. I don't know. She said she can't recognize the person that she is today. Okay. And so these things are quite important because until you get it, until you're in the mood, doesn't matter how hard you work, it's really not going to give you the results. I know people who've been working much more harder than I am. Lonabo used to say, that I personally have been working much more harder than him on my business, but I don't have the results that he's having. And I can remember this because I would make about phone calls every time I'm around him. I'm making phone calls, and he's always on the laptop. You'll make a couple of phone calls there and there. He's always thinking about the future, but I'm taking much more action than him. Hey, but at the end of the week, this guy is signing people left, right, and center. But dude, when did you speak to these people? I'm speaking to these people. They're not signing as they are signing with you. And until I realized that Lonabo has been working on his mindset, he's working on his visualization, his business, his emotions, his psychology, much more than I have, And so I've started to do that much more. And I'm seeing much more better results now, more than ever in my business. And that's what's really exciting me. And so whatever, if one thing that you can take out of this thing, just make sure that you become a student of personal development. It works a lot. I've seen people who have a very low level of self-development, but they still have a high income. I've seen that in this business. People have a high income but low self-development. They don't have these things that Lonabo has been talking about here. But what happens over time is that their income decreases and then they also die. I have discovered that it's easy to come into this business and make your first million. But I've discovered also that it's hard. It's a different kind of people who come into this business and make $1 million consistently. We've seen this in sports. Someone comes in, it's hot one season, the next season is off. You don't know where the person is. We see that in music. Someone comes in, they are one-hit wonder. They are like a Sahara effect. They're the biggest thing. Next moment, they are dead. So whatever. So that shift is not unique to network marketing, to business. It's also there in entertainment and sports, right? That if you do not maintain a certain level of personal development and grow it over time, whether you like it or not, you're going to die down, you're going to crash, your income's going to go down, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to start doing things immoral, you're going to start stealing people, you're going to start, you're going to start recruiting, do what inner recruiting. You'll start recruiting people who are already in mining city to come and buy with you, because you can't understand why your income is dropping. But your income is dropping to your level of personal development. I would rather have you have a high personal development and a low income, because in a matter of time, that income will start matching your personal development. And if your personal development is up there, your income will never go below the level of your personal development. And so that is why I'm trying my best to work hard on my. It's not easy because reading a book, studying does not give you results tomorrow. It doesn't give you that feel good thing of I just spoke to a couple of people now. It doesn't give you that energy. It's very subtle. You don't see the results of it now. It has a delayed gratification. And so I want to challenge you guys, do that, read books, listen to personal development videos like Bob Proctor and stuff. I'm not sure Mr. Lonabo will be sharing. If or not, he will be sharing some of the people that he's listening to, so that we can actually start becoming students of that particular aspect. So back to what I was going to talk about. I only have 5 minutes left. So in starting, with network marketing, I started network marketing at the age of 24 years old, and I was at the time, I never knew anything about network marketing. One thing that I could do, friends, I had the ability to talk. You probably can tell, I can speak, and not that I didn't speak a lot, but I knew that in the time I have an ability to communicate sense. And so I relied a whole lot on that, and I thought that that's going to give me the success. That if people could hear me articulate this whole thing of Bitcoin, they're going to be impressed and they're going to want to buy. They're going to be impressed and they're going to buy. People don't buy based on impression. People buy because they trust you or they like you. Okay, so I never had any success. I never had much success. I didn't pay attention to what the leaders were doing at the time. I was not giving my all. I mean, I attended presentations when I wanted to, when I had time. I never made time for my business. I was doing this business and 10 other businesses at the same time. And I never saw any results, until I think it was around it was around November 2017, where I listened to Lonabo, talk about his story and how his life has changed, how he had made a lot of money that month. And, I was like, dude, if this person's making so much, why am I not listening to them? And then I started becoming a follower of them, Lonabo and Z. And if Lonabo says, I listen to this guy, just by accident, I'll go in. I'll spend hours researching about the guy and listening to that guy. You said to adopt. I come from a place where I did not know a lot of people. Remember, I'm 24 years old. The people that I knew at the time were broke just like me. 24-year-old kids were broke. If you're in PEA, you're 24 with money at the age of 24. And the people I knew were my friends. Some of them they didn't even have a job. Some of them didn't have a job at the time. So I never knew a lot of people. Okay, I didn't have much business experience, because whatever I tried, I didn't try for longer than 3 months. It failed. Okay, so I knew that I had to become a whole different person, and that has been my journey. And so when you start this business, there's a difference between joining Mining City and deciding to do the business. Two different things. There's a lot of people who may join. There's a difference in the date that you have joined Mining City, and there's a difference in the date when you decide to do this business. I joined Mining City at the end of at the end of June, beginning of July 2017. That's when I joined that was BitClub. Okay, I joined the industry of network marketing properly by buying a package on the it was around about the end of July. End of June, beginning of July. But I only started doing the business aspect of things. I decided to do the business, in November the same year. I'm going to become. Okay, no, I guess people can. That's when I decided I'm going to take this thing to the top. I want to be one of I want to be like Lonabo and I want to be like those guys, That's when I made the decision. And so that's the first thing you need to do. You need to make a decision. The biggest result that you're going to see in your life is after you have made a decision. If you're still taking this thing as a side hustle, doing it just to try, your results will show. I promise you. If you're doing it when you have time, like you're doing it out of convenience, you will have results out of convenience. If you want to see major results, you still have to make a decision. I'm going to grow this thing. That's the first thing you need to do, is to start by making a decision. That's point number one. Make a decision to really go on top, that you're going to milk this opportunity to give you whatever you want, whatever you deserve. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, that when you come into this business, if you want to start right, follow the right people. Follow the right people. Follow the right people. Okay? So, why is it important to follow the right people? It is because you're going to get the right information. Okay? Number one, you must understand that, yes, even though you are in the Bitcoin mining or cryptocurrency mining industry, but you are an entrepreneur, and your entrepreneurial venture is in network marketing, which means you need to understand network marketing. Okay? Now, it takes on average, to be a professional in anything, it takes on average 10,000 hours. Okay? So to be a professional network marketer, it takes you 10,000 hours of active work in your business. Okay. Now, what if I told you that there are people that you can learn from who have had their 10,000 hours and are willing to give you a summary of whatever they've learned. Okay. To the people who they make it short, instead of you making. Okay, so it's very, very important to follow the right people. So personally, I'm listening currently now to Rohn Bugs. I listen to Rohn Bugs because that was Lonobo's favorite guy. He was always listening to Rohn Bugs, and I mean, I've stuck there. Rohn Bugs. Okay, he's one of the greatest network marketing professionals of all time. So make sure if you are starting your network marketing business, listen to professional network marketers, guys who have made it big in the industry. That's the third thing that I could say. So number one, obviously make a decision. Number two, follow the right people. Number three, show up. Guys, it is important to show up. Now, let me tell you why. There was a time in my business where I was not really bringing any prospects. I was not making any money, but I was always at the presentation and I was always at a training. I do not remember a training taking place in PE where I was not there. Since I decided to do the business, since 2018, there's no training in PE that has ever missed me. Whether I'm doing it, whether I'm not doing it, but I've always been there. Okay, why? Showing up. What happens is when you show up, the atmosphere of positivity, the atmosphere of this product begins to fall on you, and you become one with this opportunity. You see, the day you become one with this opportunity, that's the day you're going to start seeing results. Okay, so even now, I constantly expose myself to Zoom meetings. I'm always at a Zoom meeting, even though I know what is going to be said, because I want to be one with this thing. Like Lombo said, the secret is repetition. So you want to be one. You know what the presentation is all about, but dude, why don't you develop a better way of presenting? Have better information. I listened to Jose. Let me tell you, I listened to Jose's presentation that happened 2 weeks ago. I copied it. I copied how he presented. And yes, you can't believe the results that has given me already. Okay, so always be a student. Never get to a place where you're cycling 2-3 times and you have this thing. Always remain a student. If you are here and your upline says, or the person introducing this business says, guys, let's do this thing, do it. You're not going to lose anything, but you're only going to gain. Okay, if you're working within a team, play by the rules of the team. If you want to win with the team, then play with the team. If you want to lose, play outside. Play outside, do your own thing. Okay, and that's why I see a lot of people doing their own thing. In the notion of we're not the same. Okay, dude. So okay, I play the keyboard, right? I play the instrument. The first thing I was told that when I was playing the keys was that the first thing you need to do is you play the song in its original form before you try to be fancy. And play, these other fancy stuff. Play the original, the basic. Play the basic first. When you have mastered the basic, then start doing your own thing. But until you have mastered the basic, do not do your own thing. Okay? And how do you know you have mastered the basics? When you are starting to when you are truly financially free in this opportunity. Okay? When you're making enough money that even though you could stop working today, you'd still have an income that will pay for your, all your expenses, and still cover you for the next couple of years. That's when you're financially free. Okay, so until you get there, let's remain in student mode. So always show up. If there's an event, be there. If there's a Zoom call, be there. Okay, you never know. What if you need to attend at least 100 or 200 meetings of this nature for you to eventually get it? What if God or whatever you believe in has structured it that you need to attend 200 meetings for you to get this thing? You can either attend 200 meetings in 5 years, or you can attend 200 meetings in 6 months, which means that your success in 6, you have now compressed whatever time frame. So make sure that you are attending every event. Be a student. If your upline or everyone says, let's do this thing, do it. Be the first to do it. Take ownership. And I'm telling you, I promise you, I guarantee you will see the results in your network marketing business. So, one of the people that I would really recommend is a guy by the name of Worre. He has a book called GoPro, 7 Skills to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional. Okay, many of us are not professionals yet. That is why people are saying I'm skeptical when they talk. They're like, I'm skeptical, or I'll first see this thing on you. Whenever you have those kind of remarks, it's because you're not a professional. Okay, so get that book. If I'm sure your upline or the person that has invited you to this call can give you that book. It's free. You can download it online, get it, and become a student. All the things that you need to succeed in this business is that it is available. The quicker you consume them is the quicker you're going to win. Okay, so make sure you follow Worre, GoPro. So that's all it. Let's go over again, guys. So the first thing you need to do is to make a decision to grow your business. That's the first thing you need to do. Don't play around. Just make sure that you're gonna that you really want to do this thing. You're gonna give your all. Number 2, you make sure that you're following the right people. Okay, make sure following the right people. Currently now I'm following Halt and Bugs. Obviously you can follow our locals as well. Lonabo Fololo, Hannah Pinza, she's really amazing. You can follow anyone, your upline. If they at least are, they have a rank above you, listen to them. In fact, even people on the same rank, if they have more results than you, listen to them. Be a student. Study from them. Okay. Thirdly, you need to show up. Okay, so if there's a meeting taking place this week, make sure you are there. If the aim is to bring 5 people, for you to get an average result, you need to bring 5 people. But obviously, if you want an extraordinary result, bring 10. Okay, bring. This is competition, guys. This is competition. Okay, I always make sure that in my group, no one can invite more people than me as the leader. No one. Okay, no one must be able to invite more people. No one must beat me in inviting. This thing is competition. You're not here to kapanga. You're not here to take part and be an audience and clap and watch people go on stage and always be clapping. One day, my day will come. It's not all about that. You must go on that stage and you must be, one of the people that everyone is talking about. That must be about it. That must be about it. We want to be the best. Okay, so. If we're attending a meeting, if everyone is attending a meeting at least once, make sure you attend twice. Okay? If the aim is to bring 2 people, make sure you're bringing 10 people. Okay? Because when you get into a habit of doing that, very soon, very soon, you're gonna be one of the outstanding people. Might not be tomorrow, might not be next month, but if you do that over consistently, I'm telling you, you will be one of the people that everyone is talking about. You're going to be one of the people where everyone wants to join. They want to join. You're just making a lot of noise. Okay, that's what you want. And obviously, number 4, become a student of network marketing by studying the book, 7 Skills to Network Marketing. We will be covering this book in our trainings on a weekly basis. We'll be covering each chapter. I think last week we covered the chapter of how to invite. But this week we just thought, let's talk about how to get started right first. Yeah, and let's start immediately. Okay, so just get the book, please. That's the first thing. Get the book, learn how to invite. That's the first step. Learn how to invite, and start inviting. Invite like be crazy inviting. Tomorrow we have a meeting, taking place at 8:30 with Lonwabo and Bongeka. She's she's done a really amazing over the past couple of months in this business. She's going to be sharing how she did that. Thursday, we have a meeting with Hannah where she's taking one of the top 5 performing people of the year, and she's bringing them onto a Zoom call, and they will be sharing how they've done it. Okay, so you can obviously bring your prospects to those 2 events. Again, it's free, it's online, they don't have to travel, there's no cost to it. So use those as taglines, okay? But as for that, Mr. Lonaba, I don't know if I've done justice enough, or is there anything that I left out that you would like me to add?
No, that's you've done pretty well. Thank you very much, Mr. Neo. Thank you, brother, for being always ready to serve. Always ready to share and inspire all of us. Really appreciate you. So yeah, guys, we have exceeded our time by 10 minutes. But these are my parting words. Now, guys, if you are gonna do any justice, you can't open a McDonald's today and have a rough month and decide the following month, let me rather go and try KFC. Okay? And then there you have 2 good months, 3 good months, and then on month number 7, you decide, seems like people like Hungry Lion. Let me go and go and start Hungry Lion. By doing that, you are actually killing your own image. You are confusing your own people. You always see, this is what happens. Now, there's people you are speaking to now, about Bitcoin, who will say, okay, let me think about it, whatever the case is. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to watch you like a hawk, okay? They're going to look at other people as well who are doing what they're talking about. When they finally decide 3 months from now, 6 months from now, that they want to get involved, okay? Before they contact you, they're going to look at, is this person still saying what you are saying? They're going to watch your tone. Are you still using the same tone you were using when you started? You understand? Have you toned it down? You understand? Because that's where they're going to judge. They don't know how much money you're making. The only way they're going to judge if it's working or not, they look at the tone, your consistency. You understand? So if they realize that this person talks about Bitcoin, and then they talk about, something else, and then they talk about something else, and then you hear them after 3 months again back talking about Bitcoin. One, you have to keep laser focus, okay? You have to keep laser focus and do one thing and do it well, okay? And do it well, because look, in all honesty, the amount of money you can make here, you literally cannot make anywhere else, with, the effort that you're putting in here. Impossible, okay? I've done all sorts of businesses. I've tried traditional businesses. I've just lost right now on a business over 200,000 rands, a traditional business. Why? Trying to focus like this. It does not work, ladies and gentlemen. We have to keep, laser focus. And you must have singleness of purpose, okay? You must have singleness of purpose. I don't know how many times I get people who are saying to me, Mr. Follow, I'm ready. Send me the link. I don't know who spoke to them, but I'm definitely sure whoever spoke to them was not consistent enough, was not following up, or they left for other things, okay? In fact, I've had many cases of people who actually say that I was actually approached by so-and-so, but I see now he's also doing this thing and that thing, So you have to actually be very, very focused, okay? And anything worthwhile takes time, okay? As much as in network marketing in our business, you can make money in a very short space of time, but anything that's worth the while does take time. So if you don't see the results like everyone else is seeing faster, don't lose heart and try and go and try other things. This is not about luck. It's about you being consistent, and it's about you manifesting, results, okay? So it's all on you, okay? So you have to be consistent. And then the last thing I want to talk about is, there is, I think tomorrow, 1st of April, Mining City is introducing a whole new different packages, right? Now, guys, I don't know about you, but this is what is We are now positioned for world domination. Let me repeat. We are positioned for world domination. The amount of money you can make here is unprecedented. Okay? You just need everything that we've been talking about, you know, you just need to plug in, you just need to be available, you just need to do what people are doing. You understand? There's just way so much money, guys. Yeah, this is not the time to talk about Bitcoin Vault and anything. We'll talk about those tomorrow. But all that I'm saying is, guys, this is the opportunity. You know, this is the opportunity. We're talking people here making more than 2 million rand a month, every single month in this business, okay, in South Africa, okay? And do you know how early we are? Go to YouTube and search Mining City. See how many English videos are there and see who did those videos. You will see that it's actually us in South Africa, you know. The rest of the world has not woken up to Mining City or Bitcoin Vault yet. They will wake up. And when they wake up, they're going to look for leaders to join. You understand? They're going to look for leaders, you know, who, okay, I see this Mining City. I see that it's legit. I see that, you know, it's been operating for this time. I see it on the blockchain. I see they've got a new coin called Bitcoin Vault. But then who do I align myself to actually work with? Okay? So they're going to look at who has been consistent. All right? So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if there's anyone with any questions. Anyone with any question? All right. Okay.
Leadership.
Okay, so I take it there's no question. Ladies and gentlemen, I know, thank you very much for taking your time to join us. I know your time is very, very important, but we know how we part ways, right? You know how we part ways. Can I see my thumbs up? That's the only way we part ways. Show yourself. Mr. Giovan, I'm not seeing you. Melvin, CD, Mr. Miza. Okay, someone raised their hand. Have you got a question, leadership, Mzianda?
No, I don't have any question. Just wanted to say. Yeah.
You wanted to say?
Good work, guys. You did well.
Thank you, Siabule. Right, so, right, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Give me thumbs up. Right. Right, so guys, do not forget to invite tomorrow. We have an amazing presentation tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Please do invite tomorrow, as many as possible. Monga is gonna be sharing his story. It's quite inspiring. So I will see you all tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Love you all. Good night. God bless.
Last one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.